They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, Quizlet listened, and now we can do diagrams in Quizlet. So if you're a fan of Quizlet or Quizlet Live, you're going to definitely be a fan of Quizlet Diagrams. Let's look at that. This is actually a tip that I picked up on the Check This Out blog with Ryan and Brian. Not blog, podcast, sorry. Check This Out podcast, link in the description, that I've been listening to lately, and they mentioned this in one of their Check This Out moments, and it's actually a really, really cool tool. I've thought of several teachers who would just love this in their lessons. So let's look at how to use it. First, I'm going to go to Quizlet.com like normal. I'm going to log in with my Google account, and it's going to ask me which one, so this will be my work account. And so on the left-hand side, we have our latest activity like normal, our study sets. We can create classes. All of that is for a different video. Today, we're just going to talk about browsing our diagrams. Now, when you go to Browse Diagrams, these are all the pre-done diagrams out there that you can choose from. And there's actually a good many of them. Anatomy and physiology, biology, earth and space, physical science, geography, social science, which who can't think of ways to use this in a social studies class? Foreign language, world languages are great with this. So you got Spanish, French, German, English language learners. So you can do emotions, the parts of a face, the parts of a kitchen, all kinds of great things. And it even lets you pick which language you're wanting to do the definitions in. And I'll show you that in a little bit. But first, let's just look at one. So if we go to anatomy, there was one I wanted to pick that was layers of the skin. Because I thought about this for my cosmetology teacher. And it's a diagram of a cross-section of skin. And so we have the terms, the definitions, and then it shows you the location here. And so if we want to actually play this, let's just play it real quick, and I'll show you how that looks. So I'm going to start the game, and a sebaceous gland is right there. The hypodermis. I know this is not correct, but I'm going to show you what happens when you get one wrong. It just doesn't let you pick it. So you have to get it correct. So there you go. I could just guess at this. So just keep that in mind when your students are playing. Epidermis. Wow, I'm just getting all of these wrong. You would think I would know what I was talking about, free nerve ending. I know that one. Adipocyte is there, and that means that this is that. And so right now I'm just competing against people who have taken this Quizlet before, and I came in second. So that's not too bad. Well, I'm tied for first if you want to say that. And if I go to play it again, it's going to come up with a different set. So we had this one as one of our options last time. It's not one of our options this time. So it rotates through. And this is just how whoever set this up, set it up to work. So it's not giving me the same questions each time necessarily. Also, you can go into the options and set it to not use definitions, only use terms, or not use terms, but only use definitions. And so there's ways to modify even the pre-done ones. And so if I go back in here and it's just definitions, now we see we have a little bit different terminology. So let's get out of that and let's talk about how to create one. So if we go back to Browse Diagrams, this first one is create your own diagram. You can also go to the create and do that, but since we're already here, we'll create our own diagram. And it's very simple. It's basically just like creating Quizlets before. And we want to close that. And so I want to choose an image. And so I'm just going to pick an image off my hard drive. This would be a good one. Just a collage of a bunch of educational apps. And so this is our image. And I can pan the image. So if it's a big image, I can move it if I needed to. I can add a point, which is basically what we were doing before. So I'll just add a point here. We'll call this YouTube subscription button. I can add a definition. How to subscribe to Mr. Lee Teaches. How's that for a shameless plug? I could change the language if I wanted to. Like I was saying before, I could change it to Spanish, Japanese, all that kind of stuff. And I haven't played around with that too much. So let's just see what happens. If I change it to Spanish, it just gives me the characters for that language to make it easier to type. So if I'm happy with this, I will add. And now I have a hotspot over the subscribe button. And I can do that up to for 8 spots with my free version of Quizlet. Quizlet is not paying me or sponsoring me in any way. So if they want to, Quizlet, wink, wink, go ahead. I'd love to have a premium version. But I will say this. The premium version of Quizlet is only $35 a year for teachers. And so that's really not that much money for the extra tools that you get. If I had the premium version, I could use a rectangle like we were seeing before. Or I could add any shape that I wanted to. So if I wanted to do the outline of something, I could do that with the premium version. And I know in South Carolina, teachers have a certain amount of money the state gives you for school supplies. This totally counts for that. So $35, not a big price tag for the extra power you get with Quizlet. Now, we can always take this and we can, let's see, what do I have to do? Oh, I have to give it a title. So EdTech apps, and I am going to try and turn off, well, okay, I don't know how to turn off that Spanish part, but we have this and we're done. And so we'll create, oh, gotta add one more. So let's do remind, and we don't need a definition for remind. And so now we have 2 spots we can create it. And now it's going to work basically, that's how we can share it if we want. Basically, it's going to work just like we had before. So let's go back to our matching. So how we saw it in the pre-made one. We got remind, and that's the remind, and we have YouTube, and that's the YouTube. And I got first place, yay me. So that's it in a nutshell. I can go back to my Quizlets, and now I have created it. And I can go back and share it with my students through Google Classroom, or create my own class in Quizlet, or use my own class if I already have one created. So real simple, but pretty powerful if you think about it. You can take any picture whatsoever, and add those hotspots to it and use that as a learning tool, as opposed to just words and just matching definitions or vocabulary, that kind of thing. Super powerful tool. I hope it helps you in your classroom. If you like this video, click the like button. If you want more updates from my channel, go ahead and subscribe. I try to post once a week. And check out MrLeeTeaches.com, where I have my new podcast. There's only 3 episodes now, but I'm hoping to get at least 1 episode a month out while I'm still learning how to podcast. And I thank you for your time.